Despite all my greatest fears, I made it to London, and contrary to what my chimp would have me believe, the trip didn't kill me. In fact, I didn't even panic once. Distracted by YouTube videos and other coping mechanisms, I didn't even realise we'd made it to London until...
So if you look slightly to the right of it, you'll see where Thor landed.
After we landed is when I started to have a little bit of a wobble. London is loud. Really, really loud. But noise is just noise, and soon I acclimatized. It wasn't long before we reached our apartment and we went for a nice sleep so we could be fully rested for the night's entertainment. The King and I. Now obviously I couldn't record anything in the London Palladium, but to give you a little bit of backstory, I have a huge girl crush on this woman, Kelly O'Hara. A few days before I left for London, I tweeted her, asking if she'd sign a painting that I did, just to prove the point that the best things in life are on the other side of your maximum fear. She met me outside stage door and said this to me.
You're so beautiful, I love you to see you.
I don't think I stopped crying until I got home. For the rest of the trip, all that anyone had to do was whistle a few notes from one of the songs of the show, and I would just start crying.
No!
That first night in London kind of set the tone for the rest of the holiday. It kept feeling like there's no way it could reach this level of awesome again. But then it would. The Harry Potter studio tour was just completely mind-blowing. It was absolutely beautiful, but there was far too much to put in one video. So I'll just show you that we did all of this. As we were leaving, I realised I hadn't really felt panic the whole time we were there. And then I saw this quote on the wall, and I think it really summed up the feeling the tour brings. Seeing the characters that you grew up with, and Hogwarts, it was really nostalgic. Even people that don't experience agoraphobia can understand that comfort that comes from being home, and I think for a lot of people, Hogwarts gives that feeling. And I think if you carry that feeling of home with you wherever you go, whether it comes from a book, a piece of music, or a place like Hogwarts, then anywhere can be your home. And if anywhere's your home, well then agoraphobia can suck a dick. I don't actually have anything, sorry. I lied to you.
Oh, are you annoyed now? You didn't get anything. Okay, it's getting a little bit more. No, we're fine. Sweaty.
There's something really fun about looking at things that are just way out of your price limit, and pretending you have the money to spend on things such as...
Someone's going to see 1,000 search on that. I'll get two. Yeah, we need two. 24,000? It's
crocodile leather. It was a couch made of crocodile leather.
£400. £1,400.
And so we spent the rest of our day buying souvenirs, getting ready for our last day in London, which was spent being typical tourists and exploring the London Aquarium.
Feeling brave, dare to reach inside and discover what I found. Didn't like you.
That trip to the aquarium was so relaxing and was so sorely needed on our last day in London. What I didn't know at the time was that in order for us to leave Heathrow, we had to go through Terminal 5, which was on the top floor. I didn't take that very well. That voice in my head kept saying, "There's no way you can do that, that's impossible. You can't walk up there." But we got through it anyway. A lot of what had upset me was that I'd let fear win, but I hadn't. I was scared, and I'd done it anyway, which ended up being one of the biggest life lessons I learned on this trip. The world is loud, it's big, and it's scary, but it's incredible. The things I got to see in just one weekend. I met an idol of mine who told me that she sang for me that night. I explored the Warner Brothers studios, bowed to a hippogriff, took my first sip of butterbeer, stepped onto the Hogwarts Express, rode the night bus, and cried a lot. I met up with family I hadn't seen in over a decade, and I held one of Game of Thrones Emmys. I flew to London and back. I travelled the London Underground every day. Things I once thought were just entirely impossible for me, and by just ignoring that stupid little voice in my head that told me these things were impossible, it allowed me to experience a part of life I thought I would just always miss out on. I never thought I would ever get to see London in person, but now that I have, it's made every other thing in my life I ever thought impossible seem possible. Thank you for having me, London. I'll be sure to be back soon.